What we're about to do right now is going to make us millions. It's going to make us, forget about millions. I'm just saying it's going to solve our problem. How's that? Because I think we want that more than anything.
Yeah.
What I saw happening here, as you stay present with me as fast as you can, is that the footage is that everything that I'm doing right now, it's going to be on Facebook later today, and it's going to rock everybody's world. Everybody that knows that I'm this big book guy is going to see me again talking about how we take the color coding system, here. So, times have changed. And I don't know if you guys know, but, the source of the law of attraction is Abraham Hicks. And, many people have felt wobble or confliction. In trying to see how the 12-step program in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, once translated for the world we're living in, and in the dictions, whatever, is more in alignment with the message in here that may appear to be the opposite of the big book than many people realize. And because so many people in 12-step fellowships may be, sober and clean, free from their addiction, their primary addiction, their core addiction, or their what they thought was their only addiction, whether that was primarily alcohol or anything else. And see, the big book was designed clearly only to deal with helping people recover from alcoholism. It never says in that book itself that it was ever designed for anything other than that. So many people saw ways to incorporate that book into other addictions. But let's be straight. This book, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, only claims and only was made for and was written, to tell the story of how these alcoholics recovered and stay recovered. Many people in Alcoholics Anonymous and inside of other 12-step fellowships right now are free from their obsession or thought or desire to act out in what appears to be their primary addiction, their core addiction to them. But these people, many of them, are unhappy. They're still restless, irritable, and discontented. And they're not exactly sure why. And in fact, many of them don't realize that there is a whole level of freedom available to them that is talked about in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's not the only way. It's not the only way to get that freedom. So another thing that I do is I take people passionately through another book, after they've had an experience with the 12 steps in the big book, if that's what they want to do. And sometimes I just take people through this process, whether that's their alcohol or they're addicted or whatever the case. And so that's what, Sabina and I are going to go through right now. And we're capturing these moments so that we can get some content that we can use to put into the cheapest Facebook ads possible, called retargeting ads. And the approximately 50,000 people now that have engaged in that post, Samina, the approximately 50,000 people that have engaged in that one video of mine on the 6-color big book color coding system, the over 400 likes, and it's now up to about close to 75 people have shared it, and it just keeps going, right? And that will just keep going. I'll just be paying less and less for it. But so now I can put out a message. We can put out a message, right? And I just started last night. I told you I put one more ad set with 3 different target markets in it, and it's behavioral addictions, where people like, law of attraction. So it's both. And then the other one is Codependence Anonymous and all the other kind of AA kind of stuff, who also like the law of attraction and The Secret, all that. Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks. And then the third one is just the people that like the letters AA. So I don't know if AA means Alcoholics Anonymous to Facebook or not. I don't know. But I decided to do that as well, to test that, to see if that's what it means. It just says AA. That could mean anything globally.
Yeah.
And then, but also likes law of attraction. So that's because there's going to be like, we're going to put out one video message or Facebook ad that's a retargeted cheap ad to people to get them to go through this process with us, right? And it'll start with, they already know the 12 steps and they're in the 12 steps. So that's a different message. And that's the first message we'll do to help them get free of a secondary addiction or bad habit or thought addictions. And then the Facebook video ad that would come after that one would be to start sending it out to the people that I just created these 3 target markets yesterday. So a week from now, when it starts to get engagement, so we have enough, you got to have it at least like 1,000 people, right, for it to be worth paying for a retargeted ad back on the audience. So isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't believe we got the book, Ask and It Is Given. We both have a copy of it. Probably the most important book we'll ever have in our lives, besides the big book. But you know what I mean?
No, I think this, truthfully, if we weren't talking to the camera here, that's exactly what came to me. This is going to be more valuable to us, and it will replace the big book for us, period. That's what came to me in my download. It will for me, for sure. But I will still use the big book for people, right? But I'm going to be using a combination of these 2 books. Some people will take them right through all of the history and the step 1 and get that. And then now they understand how the whole program works. And they might say, I don't want to do the amends. I don't want to do that. Just like you, right? Right? Just like you. I don't want to do all those things. I don't want to help alcoholics, right? I don't want to. Okay, well then let's maybe do this process instead.